We're extremely excited to have you.
Leadership.
Leadership.
Leadership is being an effective communicator, an effective relationship manager.
Leadership is excitement. I think you need to be able to convey excitement to motivate people.
Motivating people and getting people to work together more effectively and kind of establishing a cohesion and trust.
The ability to inspire action in others.
To influence other people.
Leadership to me is influence.
Are important because whether it's in the family unit, in the classroom, or it's in the business world, no individual works by him or herself. They've got to interact with other individuals.
Whether we talk about the military or in management, in business, whatever it is, people have to step forward and be able to make things happen.
The mass gets done by the masses, and that there are leadership opportunities in all ranks and all levels of every organization and association.
We tend to think about the leaders as being the president, the vice president, but I think some of the most effective leaders I've ever met in my life were people who did not have positions at all.
I believe the intended audiences of leadership programming and the opportunities to learn leadership are for everybody.
Leadership is going to permeate their entire career, and it doesn't matter what size office they're working in, it doesn't matter what type of industry they're going to be in, and whether you call them leadership or not. Students realize that it's something that maybe they need to pay attention to, maybe they need to help develop, but they're not quite sure how or why.
Experiencing it is a wonderful teacher. Experience is an excellent teacher.
I think leadership is most effectively taught experientially. I think in order to achieve growth mentally, socially, academically, physically, you have to experience things. You have to practice them. And practicing involves implementation and utilization, which you cannot do in front of a computer screen or over an open book. You've got to get out, hit the street, and practice what you preach in order to figure out how it really works in a very complex group dynamic.
Students believe that the best way to learn leadership skills is by putting them to practice. Skills are being taught. Experiential education is kind of the way to create situations that forces people to think about how they're going to react, how they're going to grow in that situation, how they might make a decision differently this time than they did last time.
Experiential education forces us to do is to get away from the comfort zones that afford us a kind of refuge. But it forces you to cooperate with other people. It forces you to think about new ways of doing things, to be more interdependent and less independent. It forced us to communicate more.
You can only experience it and then learn through doing it.
Bradford Woods is Indiana University's outdoor center, 2,500-acre facility. We serve roughly 25,000 individuals a year in a variety of settings. We began roughly 50 years ago and have evolved into an international learning institution in experiential education, which is learning by doing in a challenging, safe environment, typically in an outdoor setting, utilizing both the group's resources and the natural surroundings to learn and grow. Bradford Woods provides a variety of programming, and in particular in the collegiate leadership realm, we focus on areas of team planning and strategizing, role clarity, creating vision and mission, recruitment, helping folks become effective communicators.
Bradford Woods is one of the best leadership outdoor recreation programs in the country. It's rated as one of the best in the country.
The facilitators and the staff that I've interacted with here at Bradford have been very professional individuals and very knowledgeable individuals. And every single year I learn a lot from the Bradford Woods staff. They are truly interested in the growth and development of our participants, more so than the dollar or two that we spend on coming out here. When we talk about a values-based organization, when we talk about character, and they have these guys to follow, the Bradford Woods staff, as an example to that, it really makes our job a whole lot easier. How do you explain the value of the experience to individuals that have not experienced it? I always say, from the inside looking out, you can't explain it. From the outside looking in, you can't understand it. And there's a degree of truth there. I think the testimony is looking at these guys a year down the line, looking at these guys 5 years down the line. They're defying the statistics. They're defining history. They're becoming more involved. They're being more successful. They're getting better grades. They're becoming community leaders. They're becoming positive contributing members of society on a more regular basis than those individuals that do not have the ability to participate in a program like this. There's something to be said for that.
This is probably the students' most important time of their lives. Their entire life, personally and professionally, will be impacted by their leadership skills.
I've seen individuals that characterize themselves as being the follower, being the quiet individual, and they come here and they get to try on a different role. And to see some of those individuals attempt things and become the person that they've always wanted to be, it's truly miraculous.
I can think of a couple guys that have been very challenged either physically or emotionally or spiritually that have come through this process, and about 3 days into the process have challenged themselves, and others around them have challenged them to where they have truly redefined who they are as a person.